Hey guys, I am Jessica. If y'all haven't practiced with me before, I wanted to record a video with a very short practice. I know I'm back from spring break for my master's program and I have a lot less time, even being sequestered at home, to do my own practices or to even share practices online right now. And so I wanted to show us one of my favorite restorative yoga postures called Cobbler's pose. It puts together an opening, supportive opening for the chest, for the back, for the hips, and it can be a nice posture for us to focus on the breath. So if we find we are short on time or we might be dealing with a lot of stress, I know I've noticed when I've been getting on social media more or on the internet more and looking up information, I just naturally start to get more tense and more stressed. And that's often created, subconsciously or consciously by me. And along with that comes physical tension. And if we stay in those low but chronic stress states, that can be really detrimental to our body. So I figured we might do one practice, which is just one posture, and this can be a nice break for us during the day and something that we can share with those of us that have people at home. We can share it with them. So what we'll need is either a bolster, a pillow, or a couple pillows to stack on top of each other, and you can use a couple of thick books or yoga blocks. The first block will be on the lower setting, and then the other block towards the end of your mat will be on the next highest setting. Then laying the bolster or pillows on top, you'll just find that distance that feels appropriate and supports the whole bolster depending on what size pillow or bolster you have at home. I'm going to use an extra blanket at the top. This way we can create a little pillow or a little neck roll if we want it. I'm going to show you a variation with the yoga strap if you want to use it, and then we're going to use our blanket for support underneath the legs. Take your blanket and you'll want to create a long rectangle shape. You might fold it once or twice depending on the size of your blanket. Once you get that big rectangle shape, we're going to roll it up. We want to make sure that with our roll, when we create our horseshoe-like shape, that it's long enough to come over our feet and outside our thighs. So if you need to unroll and re-roll, take your time to do that, depending on the size of your blanket. With the yoga strap, we're going to take our loose end and feed it through our buckles or our one buckle depending on the type of strap we have. Once we have that loose end fed through, we're going to pull this on like a very big belt. We're going to move our sacrum or our lower back up closer to our pillows or our bolster. And the strap is going to come around our lower back and live kind of right above that bolster or pillow. It's going to lay on top of our inner thighs, and it's going to come on top of the inside of the calves and shins right above the ankles. We'll then draw our big toes towards our face so we can slip the buckle and the strap up underneath our feet. Now right now, this buckle is living on the left side, but my strap is living on the right. So that means when I go to tighten it, it's going to pull against my feet, and we don't want that, especially if we have no socks on. It can pull the skin. So go ahead and rearrange that buckle on whatever side that you need to, so that when you start to tighten it, it's going to pull on the inside of your leg, not underneath your feet first. Don't tighten it up too much before you lean back, because it's naturally going to tighten. Let's take our blanket. We're going to place it on top of our feet on the inside, the arches. Weave it underneath the outer calves and shins, and it's going to come underneath our outer hips. If you've got a longer blanket, you can kind of roll it up and give yourself more support here as well. Going to lean back and press into the back of the pillow or bolster so that as we lay down, it's not too thick there. We'll go ahead and lay back on our bolster. At this point, we can start to decide how wide we want our diamond and how tight we want the strap. The strap, again, is optional. So as you lay back, if you feel like you want it tighter, you want to feel a little bit more locked in, pull this as tight as you want to. The buckle will start to pull closer to your hip so that if you ever need to loosen it, you can just reach down and do that. Pull this blanket in for as much support as you need to. And I've got an eye pillow off to the side that I'm going to use as we move into the posture. And then as you lay back, feel free to create any sort of little neck roll or to come around your ears or to come underneath your head that you need with that blanket if you have one. If your bolster or pillows are real high and it's too much stretch or engagement on the arms to let them lay off to the floor, feel free to prop your arms up on extra pillows. I'm pretty okay because I've got a thinner bolster tonight. I'm going to turn on the timer so that we spend about 10 minutes in the pose, and we're going to spend the first couple minutes focusing, drawing attention to our breath here. So make your final adjustments with your props that you need to make. And then let's place our hands on our belly so that we can feel how our body is breathing naturally tonight or today, whatever time of day it is. Notice if we're breathing in the belly. That's good to put us in a more chilled out state. If we find our belly's not moving, you can always put your hand on your chest, see if we're chest breathing. If that's the case, it can be more shallow breath, and it can also be a breath that puts us into a more anxious or prepared state. So if that's the case, let's try to shift the breathing to fill up the belly as we breathe in and out. As you begin to notice your natural breath, take a moment here if you'd like to set an intention or dedication for this little mini practice. And then we're going to breathe counted breath here for a few cycles. Let's take a cleansing breath together. Deep breath in. Let it go through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. We're going to take it a little bit longer. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can start to move into any count of the breath that works for you here now. You might stay with just feeling the texture or the movement of the breath if you don't want to work with a count. And any time that you need to come back to your intention or dedication, feel free to move your awareness back there. But seeing through this practice, if we can keep our attention here in this present moment, in what's really real here, and staying connected to the breath or that intention. Whenever you're ready, you can start to open up your arms onto your pillows or blankets or off to the mat out beside you. If you have an eye pillow or a towel, this is going to be the time to grab it. And if you haven't already put on your favorite relaxation song, if you want to pop that on, we'll spend the rest of this time in a little bit of silence. Feel free to stay here if you're comfortable and receiving benefit for as long as you wish. If you're ready to come out, you might bring a little wiggle to your fingers, toes, head, or neck, and then loosen that strap up enough just to free your feet. And then you might slide that blanket out of the way. Take your legs out long and just give your body some time to have space here and some movement. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me for this, one of my favorite restorative yoga postures, Cobbler's pose. I hope that y'all get as much benefit out of it as I do.